age 18 and she left home with a Bible and a GED. Well, he gave her some babies and bought her a house, and she was supposed to cook and shut her mouth.
Welcome to the Texas Local Live on a Monday night here, tuning Texas at the Ranch in Las Colinas. My name is Ben Martinek, your host for the evening. First up here, we have Whitnye Raquel,
Nailed
up here. Nailed it. Doing a little interview with us. How you doing tonight, Whitney?
I'm great.
Good.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming out.
Absolutely.
There's a bird flying around. Oh,
There
just
is.
went out. You saw that too, right? Okay. We saw it earlier flying around here trying to get some food, I think. It's your emotional support bird, you said?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
my emotional support bird. He goes everywhere with me.
Yes.
Couldn't live without him.
Lives in the case when you're playing songs and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
he has
Awesome.
a vest. Sorry. It's
Yeah. The orange vest.
Left
Well,
it at home.
well, thanks for coming out. We love that you came out here to do this tonight, and we're going to have some tunes from you later, along with a couple other artists, so stick around for that. But I'd like to start out the show by getting to know you. The first question is, why music? Why are you doing music, and what about it, I guess, are you so into?
It's definitely a family thing.
Okay.
My father and grandfather, and both of my grandfathers, and I just kind of grew up in a musical family, playing bluegrass and country, and
Nice.
so my dad got me a guitar when I was really young, and it was always something I did with the family, but I never kind of took my own road with music until high school, when I had a little punk band
Nice.
and kind of had to go my own way. And I recorded my first record in 2011, and that was real folky. And then, so that was kind of me just deviating from what everybody else in my family has done. But I knew I had to play music because it was something that I was able to do. I had that talent, and
you saw that early on.
Yeah, and so I had to go down that road, but it had to be on my own terms.
Sure,
too. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So you're not tied to a certain genre then, which is
Not
really
at
interesting.
all. Not
Okay.
at all.
Very cool. So punk to start. What was some friends influenced you on that one? or
Oh,
what?
we just had a little garage band,
Okay.
and we were called After Hours, I think. We
Nice.
played at little, like, town benefits and fairs and stuff, so.
Very cool. Hey, whatever it takes.
Shout out
you
to
know.
Aubrey
Yeah.
Scott.
Okay, there you go. Shout outs. We'll take them. That's awesome. So very cool. So you weren't tied to a genre, but you did have family. So you were the first female in your family to pursue music then, correct?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think my grandma sang a bit back in her day, but other than that,
But really going like taking it on your own,
yeah. As far as
So-
instruments and playing gigs.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
When did you start writing songs then, becoming your own and coming into that?
I wrote a few little things in high school here and there, but really it wasn't until I was probably about 19, 20 years old when I really got into it and said I want to make a record, and this is how many songs I want to be on it. So I
Oh,
had to
cool.
get busy and
Yeah.
just kind of put my head to it.
Yeah, you gotta put pencil to paper, write stuff down, or whatever you do, computers or phones or
Right.
whoever.
I'm
Memos.
a pencil and paper kind of
Yeah.
gal.
Nice, yeah. I like pens personally, just because I'm a lefty and pencil smears and it drives me nuts.
yeah.
Gotta not have that, so it's too much. So I guess how long have you been? Let's call you full throttled into the scene because you're up in the Fort Worth area now. You were doing gigs at the White Elephant, kind of getting off open mic nights. So tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about you getting into the Dallas Fort Worth scene.
I picked up a gig at the White Elephant Saloon, bartending, and Cody Jinks was playing there quite a bit at the time. He
Cool.
actually worked there
Cool.
until 2008. But he was still playing gigs, and I think he was the first one that called me up, and I remember him saying, I want to invite you out for a song swap, and I just want it to be you and your guitar and no pedals or anything, just raw and unplugged. And we started, I was grateful for him to call me up and give me the opportunity to have a gig in the first place, and that's kind of what started me off. And then after that, I got a little residency at what was Lola's in Fort Worth every Friday, and then gigs started coming in. It started picking up from there, and I decided it was definitely something that I wanted to do.
Very cool. And that was it.
Yeah.
The rest is history. Now
Yeah.
you're just going after
I
it.
can't
and
imagine
making-
doing anything else.
Yeah, like if you have the talent, you found it, and you know
Yeah.
that's what you want to get into.
Yeah.
So have you only gigged in Dallas Fort Worth area? or have
Yeah,
you
I was
done
still
some
going
other
to
stuff?
school at the time.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I was working, 30 hours a week, going to school full
Yeah.
time, playing gigs, just
Busted.
doing anything I
Yeah.
could to make money. I was traveling back to Wichita Falls, back and forth quite a bit for gigs and just wherever they would have me play. So then, when you first start out, you're just emailing everybody, I just want a gig, I want a gig.
Right.
And then eventually you get to that point to where the gigs start coming to you, which is a breath of fresh air because you're not struggling to figure out where
How long did you do the email sending before you kind of started to get
a couple years at least.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, and still, that's something that never ends is you're always going to want to grow and be able to play at bigger venues. But it's so nice. It's such a weight off of your shoulders when they start calling you every 6 months.
It's a different feeling, right?
Yeah.
We'd like to hear every couple months or whatever,
right.
regular.
Yeah, and then you can just
residencies.
focus on the music and not worrying about filling up your schedule.
Yeah, very good. So do you do all of it on your own, or do you?
I do. I have a manager, but I've been booking my own stuff for the last 7-8 years now. So they'll get me gigs here and there, but I mainly do all of that myself. Yeah.
No, that's great. That's good to have. And do you do mostly solo stuff, or you work with the band, or any
So
hired
this
guns?
week, I've got 7 gigs, and one of those will be with my full band, Radio Love Bus.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and
Great
so
name.
we've been together a little over 4 years, I think, 4.5 years. And we'll usually do 1 gig a week together, normally on a Friday or a Saturday, and then the rest will be acoustic solo stuff. Yeah, a
Gets the
song
name
swap
out there.
here and
Easier
there.
to move. Yeah, easier to work through.
Change
for
it up
sure.
a little bit.
Yeah.
You don't want to do the same thing every night.
No, definitely not. And it's good to have the full band. Get a little energy. There's something to
Yeah.
be said about that.
More
get on the
venues,
mic.
different venues.
Very true. Very true. Breaking in a couple
Opportunities.
places.
Yeah.
You can open for your band.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Double book yourself for an evening. So cool. So you've been, I guess you're definitely taking on this area by storm for sure. So do you have some plans and aspirations? I'm sure you have aspirations to branch out of the state or even just out of the Metroplex. What are your goals in that regard coming up?
I just signed with a company that's helping me do a lot of things. They Core Talent. They have recently been promoting my EP that came out in January. It's got an A and a B side, so I'm really still trying to push that.
Cool.
I would like to come up with a couple more, or get in the studio rather, and turn some of my newer acoustic stuff into those pop songs that EP is. So maybe eventually release a whole record or 5-song EP.
And would that be later in this year, potentially?
Probably so,
or
yeah.
'cause- okay.
We got some things in the works, so I'm really excited to get in there. It's a little bit different. It's not your average guitar and vocal track.
Okay.
So real poppy and
based on your background, I
different.
expect something very eclectic
electro
from you.
pop is what we're calling it.
Oh, okay, okay. So you got the EP going now. Since January. I'm sorry. Yeah. So that will push. We'll plug that a little bit later. You can tell people how to get into that a little bit more. And we have some new stuff coming out. Yes, we're waiting on that. So we want to get you around the state for sure. I think that would be awesome. We know so many artists that are around, so we want to help you network as much as we can. So if you're watching any of these angles, these cameras, hit us up. We'll try to match it up because we want to get some people working together. That's kind of why we do this whole thing, right? So,
I like it.
And about 7 o'clock tonight, we'll be starting off the tune. So if you're watching on Instagram Live, come down here at the Rancho Las Colinas. Hurry up. Get here because there's not a lot of seats left, it looks like
Filling up
inside.
fast.
So, yeah, you better hurry. So, Whitney, with the New Year's Eve spelling, sorry, New York Eve. What's your take on this scene? So, like this, I want to have some open conversation with you on this because, excuse me, I like to hear a little bit of what the mentality is out there for the. Most of the time, it's very, it's nice. Everyone has a good cordial relationship. Yes, you want to succeed in this business, and yes, you want to like kind of compete a little bit on gigs. But what's your take on it, coming from your background and how you got into it originally?
Nothing but love. I mean, we have one of the coolest music scenes in DFW. In any music scene there's going to be a little bit of smack talk and backstabbing, but for the most part, my peers and people that I work with on a daily basis, my fellow musicians are everything, and I think that brings a special cultural thing to DFW because we do have that, and everybody is so friendly with each other.
That's very true. So what is something that, since everyone is friendly for the most part, what's something you bring to the scene or something that you make it a point to do, whether it be get contact information, do song swap things? What is something that you like to go
Song swapping's a big one. A big
okay.
one. Always get your friends out. If you have that extra couple $100 or whatever it is to throw your buddy some money and bring somebody else to the stage, then do it, and then they'll do it for you in return. And it's just a pay it forward of
the
gigs
rule of reciprocity,
and sharing music and cross promotion. I think it's great.
Yeah. That's the best way to do it. That's awesome. That's a good way to do it independently as well.
Yeah.
People are learning, and all these different music apps and outlets, and you got the Reverbs and SoundClouds that are, you kind of do it your own sort of way.
Yeah.
But we've learned a couple since we've been doing this that I didn't know existed, that I've now forgotten.
I'm sure you're learning a lot of the same things that a musician has to learn.
Exactly.
Branding yourself properly and staying on it, staying relevant.
Yeah. Oh, we're both musicians too, and that's the reason we did this to begin with, because it's just something that needs to be done, especially up here. I mean, it exists in a couple little pockets here and there. Austin's got something similar, but and even up here, there's some stuff. But man, this is what it's about, and the fact that, like you said, the artists in this area are so cohesive in that regard. It's really cool to see.
Very supportive of each other.
Yeah, that's what we want to see all the time. You can turn your mic if you want. Don't get comfy. It's all comfy. I'm trying to facing each other, talking to each other here. It's all good. All right, so we know about your music now. Anything that you just love about Dallas, Fort Worth? Is there a food place you just dig up here? Is there like a cool hangout spot other than music, obviously? What's your favorite food? Let's do that, because I gotta know.
I really like a Japanese steakhouse where they cook rice in front of you. Yeah, there's any Japanese restaurant. There's a place called Tokyo Cafe in Fort Worth. That's one of my favorites. But basically, cook rice in front of me, and I'm in love.
Have you played at Hank's in McKinney yet?
No.
Okay,
I've heard of it though.
You need to go up there because they just revamped their venue, and it is spectacular. It is giant. It's like. Have you seen the Rustic in Dallas?
Yes,
okay.
I was just telling my buddy over there about that, and that he should play there.
Yeah. It's a great venue, too. It kind of looks similar to that in terms of the tall stage like that, but it's all indoor now. It's really wild.
Nice.
Go play there, and right next door is a place called Shogun. Oh, man. Hibachi.
Yes, so good.
Oh,
we had a Shogun in Wichita Falls. I don't know if it's the same chain. But
it might be, yeah, but oh, man, it's so good. It's like one of my favorite spots ever.
So good. Yeah, I mean, DFW has so much to offer. The museums, for sure. I recently had a couple days off for my birthday, and I thought I could go somewhere. I could go out of town for 3 or 4 days, or I could do some of the really amazing things that we have to offer here in DFW,
you don't have to
and
go
just
very
do a staycation, and got to see some of the museums and do the things that I don't get to do, the tourist things. That you forget about when you do live in a place like this. Yeah,
exactly. When you live here so long, you're like, oh, there's been a museum and art, gallery right down the street from my house forever. Yeah. See, open the eyes, people. Go out and see the world. It's right in front of you.
Right.
And the music that's right in front of you as well.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, tell us where are you going to be next? Where's your coming concert
Let's see
series?
here. Okay, so tomorrow is Tuesday.
Yes.
I'll be at a place called Filthy McNasty's. It's the last night of my residency there. I've been there for the last 4 Tuesdays, and that's been a lot of fun. I've been playing with an artist named Randy Gray, who runs it, and he has a different local singer-songwriter every Tuesday with him, and he does it in block chunks, so that I believe this next month after me it'll be Brandon Stedman.
All right, yeah, cool.
So, and then Wednesday I've got a residency at the Mad Hatter Pub in Fort Worth.
Okay.
It's a little solo acoustic thing. Thursday playing at the Woodshed Smokehouse.
Yeah.
Weather permitting.
Yeah.
It's looking a little cloudy out there right now.
We got a speaker outside too. I'm like, I think we'll be all right. We'll make it.
Friday I've got Blue Bayou with Sam Anderson from Quaker City Nighthawks.
Nice.
And it's so funny. I was thinking it was one of those situations where I was like, I could afford to pay somebody to come out and share the stage with me that night. And I picked up my phone to find somebody, and Sam said, "Hey, you got any gigs this week? We're not touring, and I could use some cash."
Perfect, yeah.
So it was perfect. And then Saturday I have Mayfest with my band Radio Love Bus.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So
it was a busy week.
You got a busy week going on.
I'm gonna take it easy next week.
There you go. Okay, take a little break. Mm-hmm. Just like 6 nights next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5 maybe. Yeah. See how that goes. So where can we find your music, and then again that schedule too? Keep up with you. Yeah.
Of course, I would always love for people to just go buy the record on iTunes.
Yes,
that's where
that's
my money,
one.
my bread and butter comes from. But if you don't have that extra $5 laying around or whatever, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon, CD Baby, the whole 9 yards.
Whole 9
so,
and social and website.
Yeah. So Instagram is just Whitney, Whit New Year's Eve.
Yes.
Like Whit NYE. And then of course Facebook, and then I have a music page for my stuff, and then Radio Love Bus as well. Yeah, follow me around. Cool. I post quite a bit. I always post where I'm playing, and have a lot of fun with social media.
What do you prefer? Instagram? Is that your go-to?
Instagram's my jam. Yeah.
Instagram's fun. I like that a lot.
It's simple.
I've grown to love that one.
Streamlined.
Yes. And you can just post everything else after.
Yeah.
Just, whatever.
And whatever you're
Go for
looking
it.
for, I love the hashtag thing, you know. Oh, I'm looking for this very oddly specific thing in DFW, and then you type it in, and there's, you know, 1,000 people that have already posted about it. So that's awesome.
And excellent pictures, too.
Yeah.
Filters and all.
Many filters.
It's the best. I know, so much. It's the best. Well, Whitney, we thank you for chatting with us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. And she will be playing some tunes here tonight, so get down here, come check us out, and we'll be back in just a little bit. Thanks, Whitney.
Thanks. It's a tune called Riveter. It's about my grandmother. Let me tell you a story about Penny Dean that got married off at the age of 18, and she left home with a Bible and a GED. Well, he gave her some babies and bought her a house, and she was supposed to cook and shut her mouth, 'cause that's all women would go for anyway. I said, oh my, yeah, that's the way it is. Would you like to like it? You won't make it on your own anyway. I said, oh my, yeah, that's the way it is. Would you like to like it? It's not gonna change soon any day. She was wise as an owl, and he was mad as a hatter when he would go hunting. She would gather clues from all those late night telephone calls. She got smart, she left him, she didn't make it far, 'cause this well, a woman was just an oven to bake more of him. I said, oh my, yeah, that's the way it is. But you like it, you won't make it on your own anyway. I said, oh my, yeah, that's the way it is. Would you like it, it's not gonna change soon any day. I'm feeling alright, not feeling so good myself. I'm feeling alright, not feeling so good myself. I said, oh my, yeah, that's the way it is. Would you like it,